Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Whiteboard Wednesdays with Werner. And we've been talking about OCS, the Data Sciences Public Cloud offering. And one of the things that we are really excited about and that we really want to draw attention to, just because it's such a big topic currently, is our ability to offer GPU as a service. Now, we've been long-standing partners with Nvidia as data sciences. In fact, we started off as partners with Mellanox, and those of you who know Mellanox, really good networking company, creating some really clever switches. And they went on to create also the Bluefields technology, which is effectively the DPUs and the smart NICs that is driving all of the traffic in large AI-based GPU factory supercomputers in the world today. So if you are using Nvidia, you will be using a Mellanox switch because Nvidia bought Mellanox. And therefore, that technology is now part of the Nvidia stable. And because of that acquisition, Data Sciences Nvidia obviously have a good partnership. And we've implemented Nvidia DGX within South African borders and large Nvidia GPU deployments for large customers. But we also need to democratize this. We also need to make this available in smaller chunk size bites. And that's why we really, push to get this as a service enabled in Oxide Cloud. So currently we're using an A4000, but we can really use almost any GPU based on needs. Why is this important? Well, organizations are really, playing with what is possible and starting to tinker with GPUs. It's actually going a little bit more to that. We're actually starting to get interest in organizations who want to scale their GPU investments, and they are starting to test the boundaries of what's out there. So, using hyperscalers, you are going to be paying international dollar rates for those services. Using OCS, you are going to be paying South African rand based price for those services. So we might not have the same breadth of GPUs available, but we are able to give you a starting point. And that's really what most organizations are looking for. How do we start with this? How do we get our feet wet without blowing the bank? And we can actually just start. Now, we have the ability to provide you with a virtual machine, with a GPU, and we also have the ability to provide you with platform as a service, where you can instantiate Docker-based ML workflow environments such as N8N. If you don't know what N8N is, go and have a look at N8N or Google it, n8n.io, and they are a very clever workflow component. And in future, we are looking to bring those two worlds together. But GPU is really what allows you to embed an inference and train your AI models and actually work with those at a reasonable cost and at a reasonable speed. And that's what we're trying to achieve with that. Right now, that offering is a starting point. We'd like to see how that goes further. And why it's important for South African businesses is because we're seeing that access to those things are limited. And therefore, we want to make sure that you are aware that we have an offering, and we'd like to see if that's a possibility for you to build something really clever and interesting on those. So give us a shout. We'd love to assist you and find out what your needs are. Going into the future, we are also looking at our partnership with Vast Data. Vast Data as a AI operating system that is embedded on the storage layer, which is critical because no AI can function without data actually being pushed through GPUs. So they have a very interesting story, and we've had a whole series on Vast and what they're able to do in data pipelining, vector databases, enabling ERAG, taking that further with embedded Kafka, and also their Insight engine, which really is a game changer in terms of how data is pushed through these embeddings and models. So if you haven't seen that, please go and also have a look at the Insight engine from Vast. There's some really interesting videos on YouTube around that they've done. And there's also the series that we spoke with Zane and Kimo, who are the local Vast representatives. So if you are at all interested, or busy planning or working on building a GPU factory or an AI factory out there that will be utilizing GPU technology, high-speed networking, and you are looking to find a simplification of all of the abstract components that's required for the data pipelining, please come and speak to us at Data Sciences. We're also able to host these in OCS based on custom cloud builds for our customers. So don't be shy. Reach out to us. Have a good day.